Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne. And it looks like October 30th. Well, it was yesterday, but I'm probably going to post this, in a day or two. But anyway, it was National Text Your Ex Day. Part of me is just like, don't you only do that when you're drunk or under the influence? Yeah, because when I break up with somebody, I break up. I'm done. I'm all of the way done. The only reason why I contacted a couple years ago my ex was because he refused to give me my belongings back. And one reason why he proved even more why he is my ex, him knowing about my undiagnosed disability, and he knew that I could no longer drive, and he knew I wasn't able to get to him. He told me, once you can walk again, once you can drive again, then you can get in your car and drive to my house and get your stuff. That's the kind of quote unquote man he is. But then his family loves Trump, so it doesn't surprise me. It's like part of me just wonders, like, is he sure he's a Democrat? Because some of the things he does and says is so sexist, racist, and misogynistic. It's to the point where it's like, I think part of it was because of the alpha male YouTubers, and it's like especially near the end of when I went to break up with him, I really started paying attention more because at first I thought it was heartbreak from his divorce because his ex-wife cheated on him within a year of them getting married and everything. So I thought maybe he was on purpose hurting me and on purpose making sure that I was never going to develop into the person I wanted to become. He wanted me to stay stagnant and actually diminish my dreams just to make sure. Well, he had power, and I mean, it's a long story, and trust me, you're going to get all of the story, all of the tea. And if it's your first time listening, oh, I have over 100 episodes of dating nightmares, story times, spilling tea, all of that stuff. So catch up and everything. But anyway, and then, oh, that was only Mr. No Heart, Mr. Lockakey. I broke up with him. I wanted nothing else to do with him. And then he started calling me, begging for me back. But then he owed me money. So I'm like, okay, well, I want the money you owe me. I don't want you. I want the money you owe me. And he had the nerve to like trying to blackmail me. And it was like, if it's not black, because I keep wondering if it's not blackmail, what is it? Because I want to make sure I use the right term. I might have to ask a lawyer because I know it's illegal. So I know there is a legal term for it. So you know what? That might be. I might email 11 lawyers so I can get the right terminology and things like so. Okay, so I'm gonna do that for the Handicapable Black Nerd channel. That'll be perfect. Okay. See, I come up with ideas while I'm like creating, producing, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, he told me the only way I can get my money back is if I get back with him and if I sleep with him a certain amount of time, and it had to be to his liking. Yeah, this is the same guy who on one of the Valentine's days, I made dinner. I was creating an indoor picnic. I had a blanket laid out. I had like just an array of different foods. I made a homemade cake and everything. And it's like I had some movies planned that I picked out or whatever. And he was supposed to get off at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock passes and everything like that. I'm like, what in the world's going on? Even his brother and his brother's girlfriend are at the house and they're just like, what's going on? It's like you planned this really cute, like, because it was a surprise for him, but they were watching me do it. And even his brother's girlfriend was just like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. You're so amazing. I wish I thought I would have thought of like some of the things I thought of because even like the foods and the colors and it had all had a theme or whatever. But I'll tell that whole story later. But make sure you listen to the episode I had for Sweetest Day, because that was with Mr. No Heart. Sorry, I'm giving a lot of information, but it's perfect for why I am not going to ever text these men other to get my belongings. And also, I want to see if I can still sue Mr. Lakaki, because, yeah, you literally have the nerve to tell me that I can only get my belongings if I sleep with you. And then the other jerk says that I can only get my belongings if I come to his house. He wants to have all the power. And he know, like, if you know, like, you show your humanity when you know someone is struggling and having a hard time. And yes, I broke up with him, so yes, he's upset about that. But then he's so dumb, he didn't know why I broke up with him. And well, you know what? I'm gonna move on to the okay. One of the reasons is, okay, you guys see my books. I have more on the way. I have so many more on the way, but yeah, living a newly diagnosed life or disability life and figuring things out, and now having to do things in a new way and learning, and then purchasing different things so that I can get either like stronger or contraptions that will help me be fully independent. That's a full-time career, and that's one reason why with YouTube I'm hoping that I could start showing the gadgets and everything like that. But also it's like, well, I was like, I'll just keep that there because there's other things that I want to show on here, which some of you already know about. But anyway, it's just, you know what? Yeah, with the investing, even with my books, my business ideas, and my investing. Do you know how many men have said I'm crazy? How many men who said a woman or a black woman is like, because even especially black men have told me, you're acting white. That's not what black women do. Why are you trying to show out? Why are you trying to be something you're not? You're just going to fail at it. You're just supposed to give me, I'll say face, but some of you know what I'm talking about. It's like your job after I get off work is to like give me face when you get home. It's like, if you can't give me face, you're no use to me. And because there's a future episode, oh my gosh, ooh, like, please, Trump lose. You do not know. You do not know these elections. Anyway, it's like I have episodes that you will not believe. I have, like I said, like this. Some of you who have been watching the episodes, you have only seen 5% of the screenshots. I don't even think it's been 5% yet. But I have so many screenshots from these guys who troll. Like, I've never written these men before, and I think some people who might watch my episodes, they might be thinking, what did you write them to do this? I've never written these men before. Never, ever. They don't like my profile, they don't like my standards, because like some women, they keep giving the same type of guy the same type of chance in dating. I have learned, especially once I was diagnosed once, I did some mental therapy, like with my opinions of myself and others and everything like that. Once I put myself together to the point where I'm like, you know what? The like Mr. No Heart, after I finished my very, very extremely rough draft of my novel, his response, because yes, like if I could text him, he does not know how close I am to publishing that book. So if I could, if anything, if I can only text a picture, it would be of me holding my published book. And that would be next year. And later in the year, it might be me in the middle of all of my books, because there's at least 5 more, well, children's books and another novel. I have so many novels, but anyways, one at a time. Girl, one at a time. Anyway. So if I could just take a picture of my face next to that novel, that would be the best message. And all of the men who I either deleted from my phone, blocked, or I told them that I don't want anything to do with their negativity because, oh, you're going to see a screenshot from this guy who he harassed me at least 5 times on a dating app. At least five. I've never written this guy. And I used to stream during COVID and everything because I was bored. I was lonely. I wanted to talk to people. This guy would always come to my stream. And sometimes I would talk to, like, majority of the people that talk to me know that I am a, like, progressive liberal Democrat. So we would be talking politics. We would be talking about small business and different ways where, like, maybe if the White House could, give more small businesses a chance. And even like if you look at the cruising industry, the hotel, like I remember like each time we are like, ooh, which business is next? And we would break it down on like how these billionaires are just taking over and how others can be given a chance, but not in the way where like even like people buying tons of houses just to rent them out to vacation. It's like, okay, now you're taking houses away from people that want to live in them. And so we were like, and so we would be total nerds with that. And this guy would come in, he would listen, but then he would write me and troll me saying, "You're so stupid. You talk politics in a dating stream." Yeah, yes, I do. And I'm proud of it because a lot of the streamers in the same program talk about getting higher up. Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah, yeah. Well, and they are some only wearing underwear and some who, it's like, yeah, it's like he's putting me down for talking about politics. But it's like, and another thing, if you know I'm going to talk about politics, if you know that I'm going to talk about nerd stuff, like even like we talk about anime and different things like that, but since he's a Trump supporter and a hardcore Trump supporter, he hates that I don't agree with him, and he hates that in my dating profile that I have that I will not date a Trump supporter or MAGA or Republican because I'm not compatible. Like I've dealt with that in my past. And so some people might think, oh, it's just because of Trump. No, it's like in my past, especially even the Christian Republicans, oh, heck no. No, 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 never, ever, ever. No, never. But anyway, with my exes and everything, it, especially Mr. No Heart, he wanted nothing good for me because even at the beginning of when we were dating and stuff, I used to like try to coordinate different outfits. It's like I was looking for more work, or I was like, I think, yes, like I was doing promotions, but my walking was getting worse. So a lot of the companies didn't really want me anymore. And so then I'm trying to figure out, okay, what are my next steps? Because I was hoping to find a marketing or advertising career job through this, but yeah, look, I will tell you stories about the promotional modeling industry very soon. But anyway, so like while I was looking for work and everything like that, he liked me while I was struggling. He liked me when I was at my low. But then I had one job, and then I had two jobs, then I had three jobs. And so then I'm paying off any credit card debt I had. I was starting to pay off like more student loans. So that's going to be a long time. But anyway, then I started investing because I'm like, okay, if I just put all of it into my student loans, I'm not going to have any money making money for me. So shouldn't I at least put like 1/4 of it towards investing, 1/4 to one half in investing, and then put the other part in my student loan. So then, by like once I'm halfway done paying my student loans, and when I look at my investments, I might be able to take half of that money, and then so that I'll have enough for it to keep growing at a pretty good rate, and then pay off the rest of my student loans. That can be all gone, and I'd even have to like, I mean, I worked for it, but part of the bonus of investing is that my money worked for me. He hated this. He absolutely hated it. And the amount of times that he goes to sleep at 11 o'clock for work. And so he would not tell me until Sunday. Sunday. He would wait until the entire weekend. But then Sunday around 9 or 10 o'clock, he would look me right in the eye and tell me, "Oh, I don't have enough money to get to work." And I can already tell this is going to be a two-part series, but and after he bought 420, after, like, yeah, he has two daughters, so sometimes, some of the money might have went for that, but not a lot of it. And it's just frustrating to the point where he he knows that I was responsible. He knows that I was taking care of business. He knows that I want to start a business. But whenever it came towards investing or starting a business, writing my books and everything like that, he he brushed me off, or he was negative or put me down, to the point where, like, before, like, even before my surgery, once I was at home in oh my god, excruciating pain. So it's like pain where sometimes I did, like, some people are like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, or some people are like, oh, I'd give it to my enemy for, a certain amount of time. And sometimes I debate, because we're talking about an ex who, he knew how much pain I was in, because I would call him and tell him. He would never call me. And so when it comes to dating and everything like that, one thing that I've learned, and that's another reason why I have a pretty good time filtering out men, is I give them the same energy they give me. It's like, if a man's not going to call me back, or if he's not going to text me, I stop. I'm like, okay, let's see if he texts me again. If he don't, after, sometimes I give it a week before I block, because I'm like, okay, especially if he has kids, I'm like, okay, let me see. It's like, usually it's not a full week. Maybe I'll say like 4 or 5 days. But it's like, there was a couple of times where I'm like, okay, he's working out of town. He's doing this. He's doing that. But yeah, cut off right then and there. But with the Mr. No Heart, yeah, he didn't care about me whatsoever. He has the nerve to lie and say he loves me, or loved me. Yeah, because I know he doesn't love me anymore. He better not. He better not. But he says he loves me, but he didn't come to check up on me before or after my surgery. Then he has a blanket of mine. I have a temperature disorder. And so, since he always yanked the covers off in the middle of the night, because it's like, some people are like, oh, just grab the blanket back or whatever. Yeah, he's hit me at least 2 or 3 times in the bed when I try to get the blanket back. And so I brought over my blanket that I bought while working on my master's, so that while I was working on my papers and my projects, I would cuddle up in my blanket. And some are going to say it's childish, but it's a Monster High blanket. I love, like, I know it's like I was older, like, when they started that show. I think I was like 18, 19, 20, maybe. Like, yeah, I forgot how old I was, but yeah, but anyways, I didn't care. I love that cartoon. The diversity, and just like the downfalls, or the amazing things each one could have with their monster s abilities and everything like that. And they even had a monster with a disability, and now they have two, which I absolutely love. And I hear they're bringing it back, and I'm just like, yay. But this man did not love me. He didn't, because I asked, like, before my surgery, before, like, we were not broken up yet. Before my surgery, when I'm calling him, asking him, can you call me sometimes? I'm tired of being your receptionist. I'm tired of feeling like your maid. I'm tired of feeling like your mother. Call me sometimes. It's like, you call me because you actually care. And so I'm gonna, yeah, I still haven't done, yeah, yeah, oh my gosh, I haven't done part three, so it's probably gonna have a totally different title, but I'll probably figure out the title and put part three in it, because I still haven't told you guys about me officially breaking up with Mr. No Heart, because you're not gonna believe what I'm petty. And it's like, I'm very bubbly and chipper and everything, but yeah, don't get me upset, because just kind of like the guys in the dating app. Yeah, it's like I was getting really frustrated when men kept calling me the N word, and they kept calling me a slave and telling me I'm a R word, and telling me that because I'm not a Trump supporter, then I need to eliminate myself from the earth, and that because I don't want to date a guy that's been in prison, that I'm despicable and a waste of time or an awful human being. Oh, and because I want a guy to at least have, I don't even have a minimum, but at least some money invested. Just some money invested. That I only care about money. But no, it's to make sure that he won't have to ask me for money. I don't want his money. I am tired of men asking me when it's like, okay, I understand sometimes, like, okay, if I'm in a relationship with the guy, like, but I mean, now I'm not doing that again, but back then I understood, like, if I'm with that guy, I was like, fine. But if I'm in the same shoes as him and he won't do the same, no. That's one reason why never again. Because I bust my tush off to make sure I will never need. No, 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 no. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. And that's why I'm working on my businesses. That's why I'm working on my goals and achievements and everything like that. Yeah, I'm gonna really need a part two. But if I could text Mr. No Heart again, and I could, but the only time I want to text him is when I have the U-Haul truck because we were supposed to start a business. Yeah. And he had no money, because it's another reason about the money part. I've learned a lot about money with relationships, because I should have had a contract, but since we were in a relationship and I thought that it was going to be a long running business, at one point, like, it would be profit and we would split the profit. So, like, whatever. But then 6 months, he had not a dime to his pocket. Him still, like, even though I'm paying for everything, he still also needs me to give him gas money. Also gas money. But he's quit 6 months later after I spent over $1,200. $1,200 out, like, I paid for everything. And so the only time I want to text him is when I have that U-Haul. The only time I want to text him is when I'm over so I can get my blanket. And like, I have a couple other items, but anything he bought me, I don't want. He can, like, yeah, there's two Christmas presents that he got me. He can throw it away. I don't care. Oh, the Christmas present from his no good racist mother, he can throw that away. But he's probably already given it to his daughters anyway. So I'm like, you know what? Use it as, like, I don't like, just I don't like throwing things out anyway. But it's like, so if they want it, not my blanket, he probably gave, knowing him, because I remember in the night where he looked me right in the eye and said he loves making people's lives miserable. But then part of me, like, while debating, like, am I gonna end this relationship, I realized is like, he meant me too. This guy meant me too. He doesn't care about me. He doesn't love me. It's like, a man would not treat someone he loves like this. It's like, I had major surgery and then having to go to physical therapy, having to go through over 20 tests. How many times did he call me to see how the tests went? Not one. And he didn't even know I was diagnosed. One time I ended it and everything, he was like, oh, and you're not even diagnosed. That's what his reply was. And you're not even diagnosed. He didn't know I was diagnosed then. What kind of man would do that? He proved my point even more right then. Because it's like, oh, you're going to go around and do that? You're going to play it like, oh, you want to kind of dig in that I didn't know what I was diagnosed with until not, like, yeah. But the part that hurt almost the worst is the fact that he would not, like, with my fashion and how I used to love to dress up and like switch up my clothes and everything. He hated when we were in public and men would open the doors for me or compliment and say how beautiful I was and everything. So he would ignore me. And so to make sure he didn't ignore me, I started dressing worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse to the point where it's like, okay, I I'm not standing out anymore. I'm not being pretty anymore. It's like love me. Love me because I'm it's like as long as you think I'm pretty, that's all that counts, right? So no one else needs to see how I look when I want to dress up or when I want to try to look pretty or whatever. So that's the extent that I went because that's how degrading he was. And there's so much, but if I could, oh my gosh. I only brushed the like yeah, listen to the episodes because with Mr. Lockakey, oh, if I texted him, like I would more text his wife and his daughter because I'm just like, yeah, here's some things you don't know about your husband and your father. It's like, yeah, the point where I had to get tested because on Valentine's Day, he brings home another woman. Oh, yeah, you thought I forgot to finish off with what happened earlier. No, yeah, Valentine's Day, he brings over another girl because he's so higher up. If you get, because he's higher up on that special candy. Yeah, he's the one that's addicted to special candy. And so he literally went to another girl's or picked her up. I don't know what, but they they interacted with each other. And she told me because when they got to the house, she kept I'm once he said, "Oh, this is my girlfriend." She was like, "I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, we slept together." And it's like, yeah, because she just let it all out. Yeah. And so, yeah, yeah. The things I had to put up with because of that no good fool. But if I could text them, ooh, and that's one reason. Oh, yeah, my novel. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer, and oh, like once we find out who the president is, oh, I got some messages. I am so happy and excited. It's like oh, my anxiety and stress is up, but like, oh, I know I did my part. If you haven't voted, vote. And I know if even if people watch or listen to this years from now or whatever, it's like just remember vote. Voting counts. I keep running into men, especially black men, who tell me voting doesn't matter. I'm stupid for voting. Yeah, you're. Oh, I'm going to be showing those too. But anyway, I'm going to have a part two. But you guys, just know this is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and I'm so messy. I know this episode is so messy. But you guys have a wonderful, amazing day. You're human. Keep on your goals and don't let these people, because yeah, there's some men who the women are messing them up, so don't let these people stop you. Keep going, keep striving, don't quit. Stay beautiful.